I want to create an exoskeleton that allows you to be able to do superhuman feats. Ideally, I'd like to be a real-life Tony Stark. Growing up as a child, I always loved comics and movies, and like every other 8-year-old boy, I dreamed of someday being a superhero. And now that I'm an adult, and I actually have the access to some of these tools and resources that allow me to build these things, I guess I'm kind of fulfilling my childhood dream.
Taking his inspiration from comic books, movies and video games, James Hobson has quit his job to concentrate on developing and building an exoskeleton in his home workshop in Kitchener, Ontario.
Elysium was my original inspiration. It was the first time I saw a movie that actually had a relatively realistic exoskeleton portrayed in it. It wasn't too crazy, it wasn't an Iron Man suit, it was actually something that looked like it could actually exist. And that's what inspired me to try and build an exoskeleton in my very own garage.
His experiments started after a friend gave him a couple of pneumatic cylinders, and his first prototype was based around his upper body.
Alright, attempting to curl 171.5 pounds with my homemade exoskeleton. £170.
Next, he started to think about his lower body.
The new exoskeleton, however, is actually based off of Call of Duty. So this is the pneumatic power pack. This is where the exoskeleton gets its strength from. This is a industrial air compressor which compresses air to 200 psi in this tank, which is then provided by these manifolds to the various cylinders on the design of the exoskeleton. These legs allow you to lift up to 1,600 pounds thanks to the air compressor. Just before Christmas, a German TV show actually reached out and said they wanted to film an interview. I told them I'd do some kind of big feat of strength. I was like, how about lifting a Mini Cooper? Because we got this Mini Cooper in the garage. We're fixing it up right now. So we thought, well, if we could pick up that. So that was our goal. Here's a big test. We were able to lift the Mini Cooper, and there weren't any critical failures, so I call that a success. Once we finish some of the refinements to the lower body design, we're going to move up the back and start working on the upper body. It's going to feature more pneumatic cylinders to give you lifting strength on the upper body and back support too, so you can actually bend over and pick up heavy objects.
James hopes the growing popularity of his YouTube channel will allow him to crowdfund the development of his full suit. And it's not just about dressing up as a superhero.
I see there being a lot of potential for exoskeletons in the future. Whether it's for medical use, military, or search and rescue, or even construction, having an exoskeleton could allow human workers to be able to do the job that machines or robots do. Imagine a forklift that you could wear. In a search and rescue or a disaster scenario, you could pick up a car, like I did, using your exoskeleton to rescue someone. You could hold heavy weights, you could move rubble, there's tons of possibilities. There's still many improvements we need to do to the design to complete this exoskeleton, but as you can see, it's been a pretty good working prototype.